Hey everybody, it's Michael. Just wanted to send you a quick message to let you know that really happy with where things are going. I hope you're having a good time in the class. I certainly am having a great time. And we're into the thick of the municipal finance chapters, and I'm actually going through your Module 5 presentations now as we speak, and should have the grades up very soon for you. So you can expect those coming along very shortly, along with the Module 6 grades as well too. Really pleased with where everything is going. Module 6, we brought up some really interesting concepts, didn't we? We talked about tax fairness. Fairness. That's not something you always think about when you think about taxes. Taxes are just something you're supposed to pay, right? You know, the government tells you how much you owe and you're supposed to pay it. Have you ever stopped to think about where your tax money is going? And have you ever stopped to think about the fact that your citizens that you're working with might also be thinking about where their tax money is going as well, and whether or not it directly or indirectly benefits them? This is an important function, I think, of a community development practitioner, is to first of all assess the situation and say, hey, given the situation in your community and given our analysis of the situation within your community, X, Y, and Z taxes may be a little bit unfair, and here's why. Or to be able to reach out concurrently to citizens as well within that community and groups, and explain to them how maybe taxes that they perceive to be unfair are actually not so unfair when you consider the indirect benefits. And there's all sorts of different ways of looking at this. For example, you might actually have a community that has a great deal of senior citizens, but you might have younger families who are really complaining about the heavy tax burden they have to pay locally. Well, of course, if you think about it, younger families tend to have kids. Kids tend to go to the local school, and local schools are very expensive. They're often state subsidized. But senior citizens pay the same amount of taxes roughly, depending on their income too, if there's income adjusted taxes there. But in terms of property taxes and in terms of other local taxes, they may pay close to the same amount in taxes, but actually require very few services in return. So it's very interesting to think about how might that senior citizen actually be indirectly benefiting by paying those taxes that they're in fact not actually seeing the benefits of. Well, of course, by having a lot of young families in the area and whatnot, it might add to the vibrancy of the location. It might add to the youth and continuity of the location. And quite honestly, maybe senior citizens can look at their own kids and say, oh wow, yeah, I want to see young people living a good life and their kids getting a good education, and I'm happy to contribute to something like that. So there's a lot of both direct and indirect effects. Compare that, for example, by the way, to a stadium. How might that compare to a stadium? Well, spending tax revenues on a stadium might seem like a really good idea for driving economic development, but the question is, who gets to benefit from that economic development? Do local businesses truly benefit? Does the stadium itself and its vendors benefit? Does the baseball team benefit? Will there be spillover effects, meaning that the increased traffic from people coming into the stadium, will that spill over to the town, or are people going to come in for games and go home? There's all kinds of things to consider about how taxes are collected and under what grounds, and also how they're spent and under what grounds. And I think that's extremely important to keep in mind as we continue through these next few modules. And certainly we can relate this directly to the places we've already been in terms of population projections. Now let's say we have a large number of senior citizens on the horizon, or actually let's look at the inverse. Let's say we have a declining number of senior citizens, but a huge bulge in terms of younger families that are going to be coming through with these high fertility rates, if you remember your cohort component analysis. What does that mean for the local society and its ability to support itself? And certainly, if it's a bedroom community, there may not be very many companies or businesses or industries to pay their share in taxes of business or corporate taxes, so it may be coming directly from property taxes. You might have a huge amount of pressure put on the local population to build schools to be able to handle all those young kids, right? So if you think about it, there's all sorts of interrelated problems when we talk about the local population and also the kind of tax burdens that they're going to have to share. So part of our job as community development practitioners and professionals is to be able to reconcile that, to be able to understand and see these issues and say, okay, here's what makes sense about these taxes, or here's what's really outdated or unfair about these taxes, depending on the situation. I hope we're going to keep up that momentum in our conversations going through, that we'll be able to hit some of these issues. But when it comes to municipal finance, fairness and the appropriateness of the tax is a really, really big issue, and you better believe it is directly related to the local population and changes in that population, as well as to the local environment, changes in that environment, and changes in the resource base surrounding the local area. Just continue to tease out in your work those interconnections between these concepts, and I think we'll get into some really interesting places as we continue through, especially once we get to the modules on sustainability, right? Because we've got to worry about that financial sustainability. If we can't pay for the initiatives that we're trying to launch within our communities, we could have a lot of problems ahead of us in terms of really stalling out when we could be going in other directions. So anyhow, I hope you're having a great week. I just wanted to also reach out to you to say that if you are having any issues with any of the assignments that we've done so far, if you have if you did an assignment and you thought, it was, you would have liked a better grade or something like that, or you just thought you could have done a little bit better, let me know. Definitely just reach out to me and let me know that you're having issues in a certain area. We can talk through them. We can discuss, maybe where you went wrong or what to really do about it. I think everybody in class should be getting the most out of their education here, and the key is mastering each of the individual concepts. So if you are having any issues or any trouble, just feel free to reach out to me. If not, that's great news. It's fantastic. Keep up the good work. Actually, keep up the good work, everyone, because I will say this. Everybody has been doing a fantastic job at interacting and at on the discussion forums and the journal entries and whatnot. I mean, just great ideas coming out, and that's what I think is most important, that we have great ideas coming out about development and how we deal with it in a real situation, and how we deal with it as a collective. So anyhow, keep up the great work. If you need anything from me, just let me know. And don't forget to sign up for Module 7. Module 7 we sign up for the same way we've signed up for modules in the past. Go to the wiki pages. If you look at our main page where all the course content is, the left-hand side, or actually the left-hand side's over here for you. If you look at the left-hand side, then you'll see the Module 7 sign up under the wiki pages folder. And just go ahead and put your name in there. You can self-select. And everything should be okay. Other than that, I hope to see you online very soon. I hope you're all having a great week, and we will chat soon. Take care. Thanks.